Hello guys, welcome again to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to be sharing a testimony. Hey, wait, before you rush to the comments and start writing congratulations, please listen to the video first. It's an encouraging message, and please don't say that I encouraged you before and then after I came back crying. This is life and there are challenges, and if I just sit down here and share the good thing, then if you are part or if you are going through a struggle and it's not happening the way you want it, like you may start questioning or thinking like this person is lying or something like that. So in between the good thing, there are also the struggles, there are also the challenges and so on. So the fact that I shared a video crying saying whatever, it doesn't mean that you give up. You should not give up. You should continue praying and trusting God, because God answers prayers. So on this video, I was born and raised in Kenya, and after I finished my high school, I was involved in an accident where my two legs were broken, as the both legs broke. And I was sitting on this, the people who come from Africa, where they use the matatus, this seat, the conductor's seat, there are this metal there which is always very hot. So, and sometimes when it's during rush hours, the conductors, they carry excess, they carry more people than it's required. So on this part, we were sitting 5 people, and the car was, or the matatu was speeding, and so the conductor or the driver from our matatu hit head on head with another matatu. And then from the part where I was sitting on this metal, I was squeezed, like, the legs were not even straight. You have to fold them to make sure because the space is too small. So my legs were so squeezed that both of them, they broke. And not only they broke, one of the leg I had to lose, like this is the knee, and then here, so like this part, all the skin, and not just the skin, the inner meat, everything was, yeah, it's painful. So until you could see the bone was completely outside. But for me, when I did not lose conscious, by the way, I had all my things. I had my Bible, I had my phone, I had my bag. The bag, everything was inside. The only thing I lost was my shoes. So and the driver, as most of the people were okay. The people who were more affected were the ones who were sitting on this place and the driver, and the people from the driver's side, they were not affected. So I tried to come out. For me, I believed I was okay, nothing had happened. And I squeezed myself. You see, from the matatu, inside the matatu, between the conductor and the driver, there are these metals here at the front. So I tried to squeeze myself inside through there so that I could sit on the other side, and then I went out. Now, when I sat on the side, like the passenger's side on the driver's at the front, I tried to step down, but then I realized I could not step down. But for me, I was like, my legs were just swollen, and after the swelling is gone, then I will be normal. I would be able to walk. And people came, hey, let us help you, give us your bag. And when there is an accident that people comes, some people, they want to steal, not to just help. So my bag was very tightly held by me. I could not give it out. So I crawled on my knees, and I sat aside, and the police came. We were taken to the hospital. And now, still in the hospital, I could not believe that my legs were broken. For me, it was like, it's just this part, and I'm sure they are going to clean the wound, they are going to remove the dirty, and the following day I go home. So I sat in this place, and like, I was in the Coast General Hospital, and my father was working there. But this time he was not there, they were at home. So I was like, I'm not going to tell my parents, I'm just going to wait. They make my whatever, my wood, and then I could go home. And you people, when you go to this, then I don't know now, to these hospitals, the nurses and doctors are very busy walking around. So I realized that nobody is going to attend to me, so I had now to call my father. I called my father and told him that I got an accident. And then the police came, they checked my leg, and they started saying my both legs were broken, and they could, as I could not walk until they took me also to the x-ray. Now the time they were taking me to the x-ray, my parents arrived, and when they realized that he's my father, now they start walking fast because they know, he's their colleague. Anyway, it's not fair. I guess you went to school, or if you're working somewhere, you should, every customer or every person that comes should be a priority. You should attend to that person. Okay, so they checked my legs and they made the x-ray, and this is where the disappointment was. My both legs were broken, and plus the wound. So they took me to a theater. They first cleaned the wound, they cleaned the place and tried to sew the meat, because it was just falling like this. It had not completely cut down, and they tried to sew it back. And then the following day, when the doctor came, said that the meat was already rotten, also the skin, and if they are going to leave it there, then it will cause the whole leg to be cut. So I was taken back again to theater, and they had to remove the whole thing. And now they started treating the wound. The other leg was they plastered it immediately, because it was, as well, it did not have so much injuries, it was just the bone. But this other one, they could not plaster it because of the wound. They had to treat the wound first before they could plaster it, which slowed the healing of the leg. I stayed in this hospital for 3 months. Was it 3 months? Yeah, 3 months. And the reason that I was discharged, not because I was okay, but I was tired of staying in the hospital. My life was just sitting down. I could not help myself. I could not go to the toilet. I could not stand. And I had a metal, they call it aereo, from the leg, which had lost this part because they needed to treat the wound first. They had to put this metal like this, which is to hold the bone, at least, so that it will not be shaking. And so, forgive me, this video is going to be a little long. Okay, so after that, when they decided to, I decided that I was tired, so I was really tired from staying in this place, and I wanted to go home. And I was like, my father can always treat my wound at home. But then the doctor said that there is chance that if I go home with the open, because the bone was outside, and it's not just a small part, it's a big part. They said it will, I may get infection, and once the bone has been infected, it can lead to me losing the leg. So they suggested that they do the grafting, which is they removed a part of my skin from the thigh and then put it on this place to at least cover the bone. They did that, and then after a week I was able to be discharged. I could still not walk. Now they had to put the plaster on this leg, but that was just half. They could not close this part still. I went home and I stayed home as of from February, March, April, May, June. I went back to the hospital for them to check, and the leg was still not okay. The other one was already fine, but the other one was not okay. So they plastered me again. After they did the plaster, I went back at home. I could still not walk because the other leg had already forgotten how to walk. So I needed the support of two legs and the two crutches. Okay, I stayed, went back. After that, I was tired. In Mombasa, those who come from Mombasa, it's so hot. So with the plaster and everything, it was never comfortable. So I had to tell the doctors, remove the plaster. And I was that is girl. Whatever I say, okay, it has to be done. So they removed the plaster. After they removed it, I went home. Now I started training how to start walking, and I was training how to walk again, how to walk again, how to walk again. Thank God. One leg was okay, but the other one was not okay. So in the process of too much walking, I was so much bored also at home that I decided to make detergents. Those who come from Kenya, these detergents, the Jik and soap, and I was trying to go around selling them. And so it led to the leg bending from too much walking because it was not okay. So it bent, and I was living with crutches. I was staying with crutches every day. I could not walk without, even when I tried to walk without crutches, it was so painful. I walked with crutches for 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 years. I walked with crutches for 3 years, and after that, in between, I tried to end it because I was tired. The reason, I could see some people, like somebody got accident, went to the hospital. Within 6 months, they are okay. They are starting to walk, and within some time, they are walking without crutches. And I was living a life of crying, asking God, why me? Because I was really ahead at halftime, and you understand, you've been walking okay, you've gotten an accident, okay, accident happened, but mine was too much. So I tried to end it. Forgive me. I'm not telling anybody to do it. You should not do it. But in between, God saved me, and God forgive me. Then after that, I went back to the hospital. They broke the same leg, and now they put the metal. This is the metal. And with screws. Okay. They put it inside the bone. So on top there were 2 screws, and down there were 2 screws, plus this metal. You see, it has 4 holes. It has 4 holes, like 1, 2, and 3, 4. There are 5 actually, but I had the 4. On top of the knees part, there were 2 screws, these ones, and at the down part there were 2. So yeah, I stayed with this metal for 10 years because I was afraid again for them to remove this metal, and I knew the pain I had gone through. And it's not that I was not feeling pain even with this metal. Sometimes when I walk too much, there was a lot of pain. Sometimes if walking, carrying, so I was always very careful. And one of the screw was like outside. You could feel it. It was so swollen that you could feel it. So I prayed, got my husband, and of course, one thing also, going back to the hospital in Kenya to remove this thing, it's very expensive. And in Kenya, I did not have a good job, and the job I got was I was paid 10,000 a month. And then I opened my own restaurant where later some people came and stole everything. So I went back to square one, zero. And yes, thank God I found my husband and I came here. When I came here, I was still with the metal on my bone, and I had explained to him about my accident and how my leg is. And then I came, I got the job. Now back to the work, because where I was working it involved a lot of walking and carrying. It got to a point where I could not walk. It was so painful. So I had to go to one of the hospital here. They checked, and they told me, before I went to the hospital, I went to the orthopedic. He checked and he said the solution was to remove this screw down, because that is the part where it was paining, and there were two. So he said that if I remove these two screws, it's not going to be a problem. It will be okay for my leg. And so I did not want to remove the screw. I was telling them, if then they have to remove the whole metal. So they referred me to another hospital, the biggest hospital, where they deal with the fractures and everything else to do with these things. And when I went to this hospital, this doctor, the lady I found, she also suggested that if they remove the screw, my leg will be okay. There will be no problem. So I accepted. They removed the screw. After a while, then now the problem started. The leg was swelling. It was painful anyway. It was painful. God. Today I'm not crying. Oh. Yes. So I went back to the hospital and they checked. The one doctor, the same lady, came and told me it's normal, because she also has a scar and it changes with the weather. For her, according to her, it was the weather. But I could feel that it was not okay. So I came back home. Immediately I started walking, and so many things. The leg started swelling. I went back to the same place. Now, luckily, I found a doctor. And this doctor checked my leg, and he said they took a sample, and he said I have to remove the whole metal. And so I had an homework to check where the metal was bought and who manufactured it, so that they know the right materials to use or to prepare during the operation part. And luckily the doctor was so good, so we made an appointment and he removed the metal, luckily. And then he made a sample from the part where it was swelling, and they found there was bacterial infection. Okay. It was tough anyway. The doctor described some medicine for me. I took these medicines, and thank God. The bacterial infection was at the results of the open wound and the metal, the reaction. But luckily he gave me the medicine that I was supposed to take. And after 1 month, I went back to the hospital. They checked again, and luckily everything was okay. I'm going to say this is all God. He's God, and it's also a testimony. Because my part, I say, if I had not met my husband, of which God led to me meeting him, then maybe this metal would still be inside my body. And I don't know what would be right now. The infection and everything else. So if you are there and you are struggling, there is hope. I stayed with this metal for 10 years. 10 good years. Was it even 10? Yeah, 10 years. I stayed with this metal for 10 years. I was working with this metal for 10 years, of which normally it's supposed to be removed after maybe 2 to 3 years. I don't know. But I stayed with it inside. It was inside my body for 10 years. And my legs are good. Now I can walk without any pain. I can walk for 2 hours back, going and coming. Also, I can walk. I can even run. I could not run. If I tried to run, my head was always on this leg. If somebody tried to touch that leg, I was like, also I avoided anything up. Also, I was so much careful with this leg more than anything else because of the pain. Once you touch that part, it was paining. Sometimes I would wake up at night because the leg is paining. And here, because of too much cold, then it's worse. At least in Kenya, it's so hot. The only time it pained is when I walked for a long distance. But here, because of the cold, it was paining all the time. Like, I was just with painkillers, and these painkillers were like, my body was used to taking painkillers. So I thank God. I thank God because He has seen me through. He has given me that patience. The patience of having pain. I hate pain. I have pain. So what do I say? I don't know. I say thank you to God, and also this one, I hope it's going to encourage someone. It doesn't matter what you're going through. God is going to bring you a helper. God is going to give you, as He's going to grant you your heart desires. Somebody said not all prayers are answered, and I deleted that comment because if not all prayers, some prayers may not be answered because maybe you're not praying for the right thing. But God will lead you so that you know the right thing, the thing that you're supposed to pray on. Like my story of coming to Germany, I wanted to come through work, but then I could not get a visa. The time I said, okay, now God give me the person that is going to be my husband, not just someone that I'm going to use to go to Germany and things I live in. I needed someone someone that will accept me for what I am, for who I am, the way I am, with my weaknesses and everything else, and someone who is going to respect me. And God gave me. It did not take long. It took long when I was praying for a job. It took long when I fasted to get a visa, au pair visa. I fasted to get this the job the lady that offered me, but I did not get. But the moment I said, okay, God, give me the person that you've created me for, I got him. And the day I applied for the visa, for the marriage visa to come to Germany, I was not denied. So maybe your prayers are not being answered because you're not praying for the right thing. What do you want? Talk to your God, because I believe that He talks, as though He listens to our cries. He knows what we want. He knows what He wants for us. He has those plans for us. You are struggling with something, God has answers for everything. Just trust Him, just believe Him, and don't lose hope. You've told me not to lose hope, and I'm not going to lose hope. And I'm still waiting upon Him. still praying, because I know He has plans for everything, for every person. And I know that one day He's going to listen to every person's prayer, and He's going to answer your prayers. So we are not going to give up. We are not going to give up, and we are not going to give up. We are going to keep on pushing. We are going to keep on praying and asking Him to guide us, to teach us, and to help us know our way out, to help us know the way. Because sometimes, we need His guidance. We need to recognize when He's talking to you, because there are so many voices, and there are so many disappointments, like when you're praying for something and you listen to somebody's story and you're like, so it's like I'm wasting my time when I'm doing this. There are so many voices outside there, some which are discouraging us and making us feel like it's not working or it's not worth it. But God answers prayers. It doesn't matter how long you are going to wait, but just have patience, because He has plans for you. If it's you're looking for marriage, you're looking for job, you're looking for a visa, I don't know. You know what you're looking for, and God knows the plans He has for you. Just continue believing, just continue trusting God, just continue calling His name, and we pray without ceasing. We pray without stopping. We keep on moving, we keep on pushing, we keep on believing and trusting in Him. When you're praying, also remember others, because you never know. Maybe it's through praying for others that your ways are going to be open. Let us not be selfish when it comes to prayer. When you're praying, remember there is someone else who is also in need. There is someone who needs a job. There is someone who needs a child. There is someone who needs marriage. There is someone who needs healing. You never know. Maybe through your prayers, that person is going to get that thing that they have been praying for. And through you praying for those people, then your ways are also going to open. So let's trust God. Let's believe in Him. Let's keep on pushing. Let us listen to ourselves. Read the Word of God. Tell God to communicate with you. Tell Him to show you His ways, to show you what He wants, how you should pray, how you should walk, how everything. Because He's an able and loving Father. He's always there to listen to us. Yes, I hope you are going to be encouraged, or you've been encouraged by this video. And yeah, let's trust God and wait.